Cassie Plummer's disappearance continues to puzzle everyone in Coronation Street, and Fiz Dobbs is beginning to fear that Ross Wilkes may be hiding a dark secret. Fans recently watched Cassie's world collapse after Ross discovered she had secretly been putting something in his smoothies in an attempt to force him out of her life. Her scheme backfired when Tracy Barlow accidentally drank the tainted smoothie and ended up in hospital, exposing Cassie's actions. The fallout was immediate, with Tyrone Dobbs turning his back on his mother and Steve McDonald ending their relationship. Desperate to leave everything behind, Cassie accepted a job aboard a cruise ship. However, it remains unclear whether she ever reached her destination, as the last time viewers saw her, she was leaving in Ross's car. Since her sudden disappearance, Steve has been filled with regret for not reconciling with Cassie before she left. Her complete lack of contact has left him frustrated, but Fiz is even more worried as every attempt to call Cassie goes straight to voicemail. Earlier in the week, Ross sparked Fiz's suspicions after claiming he hadn't seen Cassie. He later changed his story, admitting he had actually driven her to Piccadilly Station after Steve revealed he had witnessed them leaving together. Because Ross had previously acted as though Cassie's departure had taken him by surprise, Fiz immediately sensed that something wasn't adding up. Although she warned Ross she was willing to overlook his dishonesty this time, she also made it clear that any further deception would not be tolerated and that he would be thrown out if he crossed the line. In the latest episode, Fiz confronted Ross once again while they were alone in the rover's return, pressing him to explain exactly where he had taken Cassie. Ross remained calm under questioning, insisting that Cassie's silence was typical of her behavior and suggesting there was nothing unusual about it. Even so, Fiz couldn't shake the feeling that he was hiding the truth. Will Fiz uncover what really happened during Ross and Cassie's final journey together? And what will Tyrone do if he discovers that Fiz believes his father may know far more than he is admitting? Asha Allahan and Sienna Milburn's new romance has come to an unexpected end in Coronation Street, as the emotional strain of Sadie's dementia diagnosis proves too much for their relationship. During the latest episode, Asha joined Sienna, Tristan, and their mother Sadie as they visited several care homes in search of the right place for her future care. After returning to Weatherfield, Asha and Sienna stopped at the rover's return. While Sienna stepped away for a moment, Asha opened up to her father, Dev, about the heartbreaking visit. She explained that Sadie briefly became clear-headed while touring one of the facilities and pleaded with her children not to leave her there. Moments later, her mood changed dramatically and she lashed out at those around her, leaving everyone shaken. Nearby, Ronnie Bailey overheard the conversation and couldn't hide his concern. Watching Sadie's condition unfold reminded him of Debbie Webster, who is also living with dementia. When Sienna came back, Asha tried to reassure her by suggesting they could take another look at care options after a few days. However, Sienna rejected the idea, insisting she wasn't ready to place her mother in a care home and accusing Asha of putting too much pressure on her. Feeling emotionally overwhelmed, Sienna admitted she could no longer focus on a relationship. She explained that all of her attention needed to be on caring for her mum and ended things with Asha before walking away. Left stunned by the sudden breakup, Asha attempted to change Sienna's mind, but her efforts were unsuccessful as Sienna left the pub. Later, while spending time with Dev, Asha reflected on what had happened and acknowledged that she may have pushed Sienna to make a decision before she was emotionally prepared. Although she insisted her intentions had been to support Sienna, Asha confessed she was heartbroken and joked that she planned to head home, enjoy a relaxing bath, and allow herself to feel sorry for herself for a while. After Asha departed, Dev noticed Ronnie still looked troubled and asked if he was all right. Ronnie admitted that seeing the devastating impact dementia had already had on Sadie and her family had forced him to think about Debbie's future. Dev tried to reassure him by pointing out that Debbie had not yet reached that stage of the illness. Even so, Ronnie remained uncertain, saying nobody could predict how quickly dementia would progress. He quietly hoped he would have the strength to stand by Debbie and support her through whatever lay ahead. Coronation Street is set to reveal the crucial discovery Kit Green has made about Gary Windus as he searches for evidence that could help reduce Sarah Platt's prison sentence. Sarah is currently behind bars after being convicted over Theo Silverton's death, while Gary played a major role in concealing what really happened. Because Kit is romantically involved with Sarah, he has been determined to do everything he can to help her without putting his own career at risk. As part of that effort, Kit has continued investigating Gary's actions, and in Wednesday's episode he is seen chatting with Nina Lucas at Roy's Rolls, sharing a few lighthearted jokes inspired by Lionel Richie. During their conversation, Kit receives a phone call from one of his contacts and arranges a private meeting. There he is handed a collection of text messages along with GPS tracking records from a mobile phone, though the discussion is soon interrupted when Bethany and Harry unexpectedly arrive. The focus briefly shifts to Harry, whose recent behavior at school has caused concern. Kit reminds him that, despite everyone missing Sarah, he still has to follow the rules and take responsibility for his actions. Bethany then questions Kit about the secretive meeting she has just witnessed. Rather than hiding the truth, Kit explains that the phone records may contain the evidence needed to help Sarah, provided they can prove Gary deliberately withheld important information from the police investigation. Together, Kit and Bethany carefully examine the messages and location history, but they quickly realize Gary has been extremely cautious, leaving no obvious text conversations that connect him to the cover-up. Sarah also points out that the GPS records appear to reveal nothing useful and suggests putting the investigation on hold for the time being. Just as they seem to reach a dead end, Kit suddenly has a breakthrough. He decides to widen the search by looking at the phone's movements on the morning after Theo's death, instead of focusing only on the night of the incident. After identifying a new set of coordinates, Kit shows the location to Bethany, leading them to an isolated area of wasteland near the canal. Believing it would be the ideal place to hide evidence, Kit becomes convinced they are close to uncovering something significant. But what exactly is buried there, and could the discovery finally expose Gary's role in the cover-up and give Sarah a chance of securing a reduced sentence?